Hi guys, this is Kim Adsit from the Gaylord Museum. It feels like a museum, but we're at a hotel in Dallas, Texas for the annual Frog Street Splash Conference. If you have not been to this conference, put it on your bucket list. These people know how to make a conference fun. So be sure that next year you are here. What I did was I collected up some of my favorite blogger presenters, and I've asked them to share some great tips and ideas with you. They are all here either as presenters or have a booth, and they've each come with some great ideas. Today, one of my sessions that I shared was about science, and what I was trying to show teachers was just how easy it was to connect science to literature. So this is a cute little activity to do with the book Mouse Paint. So what we did in that book is, as you probably know, the mice play in the puddles. So we have our 3 puddles of paint. What this is gel frosting. You can't use the creamy, it has to be the gel. We're going to let the marshmallow be the mouse. So we're going to go a little bit in the blue, a little bit in the red, and then we play in the puddles and we make purple. And then here's the fun part. Look up here. You eat your mouse. Alright? Then you get a little bit of yellow and a little bit of red, and you mix it in the middle and you make orange. Bite your mouse again. Get all the color off. Because then we're going to do a little bit of blue and a little bit of yellow. We're going to do it in the middle, and then we make green. So what we end up here with is the color wheel. It's a great way to teach your children how to move from primary to secondary colors. Now, excuse me while I lick my fingers for a minute. Okay, the other thing I showed them was about a cute book called In the Rain with Baby Duck. Write that title down, In the Rain with Baby Duck. In that story, the baby duck doesn't like to get wet. Now, one thing I shared in my session is that you always want to pair fiction and nonfiction text. So you want to be sure that you have developed the schema for what happens to ducks' feathers. All right? And then you're going to follow up with this great experiment. One thing that's real important in science is that we're teaching the scientific process. So what we want to say to kids is we want to pose the question, do ducks like rain? And then children either say yes or no. That's their hypothesis. So now we're ready to do our experiment. So the kids get a little bit of Crisco on a knife or a popsicle stick. They spread it on the feather, just like the duck would have oil on his feathers. Then they take a spray bottle. Whoops, my spray bottle's locked, so hold on a minute. And they spray. Then they can take a magnifying glass and look, and they can see how the water beads up on the feather. So last, after they do their experiment, they observe, then you have them record what they observed, all right? So now we're going to move on over to Mary, and Mary's got some great ideas to share too.
Hi friends, my name is Mary and I'm from Sharing Kindergarten and I'm a blog ambassador for the Frog Street Splash. I'm here to show you some ideas I have from the dollar store. So one of the things, I'm going to grab the box, is I found this baby Jenga type game. And these are just blocks. They're super, super small. I want you to see the size of it, and it's $1. So because, I'm going to clip it on, because I was doing some phonics earlier this week, I chose to take my blocks and write the letters on the sides of it. Very simple. You can do capital one if you want, lowercase on the other. It doesn't matter. You can even do addition problems, a number sense, it doesn't matter. So then you set it up like this, and I did learn if I load it backwards and upside down into my tower, I can dump it out easier. But then my kids can play Jenga. They can start by the letter identification, and they would have to do H before they can come up here and stack it. Or once they master that, they can go to the sound k, 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 and go to that. If they've even gotten that, you can go to a word that starts with that letter. So a very easy way to use it. Takes a Sharpie and $1. My next activity is so fun, so classy. So I took these little curlers, these hair rollers that come at the dollar store, and they come apart that easy. So simple. So I took it and I cut it in half. I put it back on my roller, and I use it for word families.
Okay, that's pretty darn brilliant.
Thank you.
That is darn brilliant.
So these store really small. So this is k-op. They can turn it op, b-op, st-op. You could even cut it into thirds if you wanted to do vowel, consonant, vowel words or blends, any ways you want to do it. And because it comes like 8 or 10 of these in a container, super, super cheap, super, super awesome. All right, my last idea is really easy and it costs no money at all. I did happen to buy these pads, but you can make your own. When I want my kids to practice writing their letters, I want to make it fun, and I also want to involve them using their brains. So I like for them to play tic-tac-toe. Kids are playing on devices at restaurants now, and they're not playing tic-tac-toe, so they don't know how to play it. So if we were going to be doing the letter M, I would want somebody to pair up and be the capital letter, and I would want their partner to be the lowercase letter. And I would want them to play a strategy game of tic-tac-toe 4 different times, practicing their capital and lowercase. If I'm capital this time, next time I play with my partner, I'm lowercase. So those are my 3 ideas. I hope you love them.
We're going to go low tech here. I'm Maggie from Maggie's Kinder, and I may need one of my hands loose here. This is a tip I've been teaching for 25 years in Kinderland. I have a little trouble with sticking things on the wall sometimes and doing it quickly. So my tip, first of all, is to take a piece of masking tape, roll it inside out, and do this really long, like do 8-foot lengths, and then cut them in pieces and tape them all around on your wall, and then you just snatch them up and you stick them on. Some people have never thought to do that, so that's just kind of a little trick.
Idea.
My other tip is if you never bought the triangular crayons from Crayola, you should do that, because that is probably the best thing I've ever done to begin the year to teach kids proper grip. So those are my 2 tips. That was very short. No
Very
props.
good. Right, Casey?
Casey Hopper. How does this work? Like that? Okay.
Hi friends, I'm Casey from Mrs. Hoffer's Spot, and I am moving to pre-K from kindergarten. Yes, I'm so excited. So I have a real quick way to help reinforce our letter formation and our number formation. I buy these Twizzlers, the pull and peels. I put them in my desk because I like to eat them, but they're also great for your kids to play with. They just pull apart real simple like, and we practice making our letters on the table. Oops, sorry. So we can make the letter A or C. And if they work really super hard while we're working on making our letters and numbers, at the end they get a treat and they get to eat their Twizzlers, which is the best part, and it's a great way to keep them engaged. So that's my tip. Passing it on.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Casey. Welcome to Pre-K. All right, guys. Hey, I'm Vanessa Levin from Pre-K Pages. We're coming at you live from Grapevine, Texas at the Frog Street Splash Early Childhood Conference. Like Kim said, best early childhood conference in the world. I'm not going to stand. I'm going to sit because I'm tired, okay? There's no tired like Frog Street Splash tired, okay? And we haven't even had the party tonight. That's what's coming up next. And we are very excited, so we're kind of kicking it off with this little broadcast for you. So Maggie went low tech, I'm going no tech. I got nothing, so I'm going to talk, okay? It's what I do best. So my session today was called Centered on Success, and it was all about centers in the classroom. And so we talked about the 4 steps that you need to have for successful centers in your classroom. So the first thing we talked about was the why behind the what. I'm not going to do my whole session here. So like, why do we do centers? What's the importance of them? And then we talked about balancing your centers. Just like we have balanced literacy, we also have balanced centers. I bet you didn't know that. And there's 4 different types of centers. We talked about that. And then we talked about the big elephant in the room. How do you manage those centers once you have all those cute centers? Like, how do you manage that? So we talked about that, and then we came up with an action plan. So how do you get that? How do you implement that in your classroom? So you got all these great ideas, right, that you want to do in your classroom. So we talked about an action plan, and that was what we talked about today. It was called Centered on Success. I had 2 sessions, and the good news is that is also the title of my next webinar. So I know you all can't be here today, and we're very happy. We're very happy that we're here, but we're sad that you're not here. So my next webinar is going to be that very session. So if you missed it today at Frog Street Splash, we are going to be having that in, I don't know, a couple weeks. I don't know what day it is right now, so I can't say. But anyway, I would like to thank Kim for inviting us all to share ideas. I didn't have anything fun with me today, so I didn't have any fun stuff to show you. So I hope this was fun and that you got some ideas you can take back and use in your classroom. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. Does Kim want to say something to end?
Okay, guys, so thank you so much for tuning in. And here's what's going to happen. Tomorrow, there are even more blogger presenters here that can't wait to share ideas with you. So watch on Instagram to see what time we're going to be holding our Facebook Live tomorrow. Today, we're actually in the vending hall, and we were a little bit late because we didn't realize the vending hall was going to get crazy at 4. So just tune in tomorrow, watch on Instagram, and I'll tell you what time we're going to be coming live. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye, guys.